I've got a confession to make. I don't exactly worship at the altar of the BMW Roundel. Sure, I raced one in Lemons and I had a blast. It was the wrong car for the race, but it seems like everybody's in love with the E30 3 Series. The 3 Series as a whole goes back all the way to 1975, starting with the E21. Fast forward to the future through many generations, E30, E36, E46, E90. Now we have the F30. This is the 2012 BMW 335. We're gonna take a look at it. So what's new for the 2012 3 Series? Well, the 335 here is proudly showing off this Angry Birds inspired snout. I kid, but it is more aggressive. You've got the great looking lights that are a BMW trademark. You've got this aggressive fascia, you've got the trademark kidney grills, and it swoops back into the rest of the car that's actually kind of sleek for a stately German sedan. This is an aggressive look that works well. It's also not overly aggressive. There's flares on the hood, but it's not crazy. It's not screaming in your face. It's not overly swoopy like, say, an Infiniti M. This is the look that carries through the family, and the 3 Series wears it quite well. You've got a few choices when it comes to your under the hood action here with the 2012 3 Series. You can get the 328 with a 4-cylinder engine. That's fine and dandy like some sour candy, but we like things a little sweeter. That's why we've got the twin scroll single turbo inline 6. It pushes out 300 horse, 300 pound-feet of torque, and in this car, it's paired with a 6-speed manual gearbox. Save the manuals, here it is, this is it, and it's awesome to drive. It puts that power down wonderfully, sends it out to the rear wheels right where we want it. It's a sports car in a sedan body. If you buy a car like the 3 Series, you might want to know what's going on with regards to trunk space. It has a trunk, there's space, there's a lot of it. Who cares about that? It's a 3 Series, let's go drive it. Before we set off and enjoy the fine roads of Southern California, specifically Ortega Highway 74, we gotta take a moment to talk about the interior. This is a blend of minimalism meets high tech. The layouts are clean, you've got a clear screen, you've got easy to read gauges, but you've also got a load of information at your fingertips. Just brushing your finger over these buttons without even touching them will reveal what station you're touching, so you don't have to look too far down. I've got the iDrive here, which is light years ahead of the terrible iDrive you've heard about in the past. It's actually very easy to use, super intuitive. I've got a button down here which lets me switch between Eco and Sport. This is an efficient dynamics model, which is the BMW go-to term these days, which when I put it in Eco Pro, it dulls the throttle and it makes you cruise along more simply. You can't push it too hard. Put it in Sport though, and the whole car comes alive, and it's fun to just leave it in Sport. And you've got these wonderful seats. They're heavily bolstered, but they're incredibly comfortable. There's tons of padding. They're the perfect blend between comfort and sport. I would be quite fine hammering this car across the track. I'd be equally comfortable taking it on a road trip to Vegas for 4 hours in the car. One thing we don't like though is the start-stop system. When you come to a stop, put the car in neutral, take your foot off the clutch, the engine will drop down into a ready mode. Push the clutch in and it roars back to life. It sounds like it's raping the starter. It's incredibly taxing. I'm sure they've tested it a million times, but it's a beefier starter, and if it goes, it's gonna be an expensive starter to replace. That said though, we're not worrying about that right now because this car only has 2,000 miles on us, so hopefully that starter lasts you a long time. Let's get back to the driving enjoyment. You've got the tech, you've got the great upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, you've got a great view of the road with my speed just displayed right out there. It's currently sitting at 0, but we're gonna add a few zeros to it. Additionally, say you got your Bluetooth phone connected, you can see who's calling you. You don't have to look down, you don't have to look, oh, someone's calling me right now. You know what? We're gonna have to cut. I'm gonna have to take this one. I'm sorry, turn the camera off, turn the camera off. Now that we've given you a tour of the outside and the inside and a quick peek at the trunk, it's time to drive the car. It's in comfort. I'm gonna pop it up to Sport Plus, and we're gonna have a little fun. One of the great features with any BMW is the driving experience. That's why people buy these cars. You buy a Mercedes because it's a little more refined on the luxury end. You buy a BMW because you love driving. I've never bought into the BMW family, like I said earlier, but after driving this 335, I'm kind of falling in love with the brand. The manual transmission, the fact that they even offer it is great, but this one happens to be brilliant. The clutch is nice. When I put the knob into steering, the steering feels better. The throttle response is good. The brakes are good. It's easily set up for heel towing. It's rear wheel drive. You can turn the traction control off. You've got great visibility. you can just drive the hell out of this car on the weekends and then drive it home, wash it, and take it to work Monday morning, and you look quite presentable. That's why the 3 Series is a blast. So now that you've seen what the 335 can do, you might be ready to rush out and buy one. Well, you're gonna need at least $42,000 handy. If you want the car that we're driving, you're gonna need $55,000 because it's got a buttload of options. They're all nice options though. There's cameras galore, there's lane avoidance, there's just modern tech things that these expensive cars have. That said, if you are in the market for a new car and you want an entry-level luxury sports sedan, there are plenty of choices. You can get the Infiniti G37, you can get an Audi A4, you can get a Mercedes C-Class. None of them are gonna drive like the 335.